Thanks, Heather. And my heart was just going like thump, thump, thump in a way that it does not even in the trauma room. So that's for you guys to know privately. But thanks for being here and creating such space for this. I feel really blessed to be surrounded by so many people who care so strongly about ideas and who are here to listen to my fellow nominees sing their songs in English and French and the first languages of this beautiful land. Too many names to offer in terms of thanks that brought this book into life, but my public thanks to the OMDC, the jurors, and to all of you for being here tonight. So this book, I put into it the best of what I know, not just as an emergency doctor, but about the body, how it heals and how it fails, how to recognize that process in someone, and when to intervene. But I really linger on the why, and that's what puzzles me, and that's what I continue to write about. Why? And is it possible for someone to fall here and have someone leap on them and then take them to that hospital I work at down the road and continue that process? And I believe that why is because the hard edge of our humanity, the growth there is the same as in ourselves. And that is to include our notion of caring towards, from people who are closest to us, to strangers, maybe even all living things, and even most daringly ourselves. So as I write these, the book is structured as 26 essays, A through Z, and this is entitled, F is for Flow. There are different kinds of flow. The ERs, the hospitals, the kind through our veins. As doctors, we are taught to pay particular attention to this last one. We call it different things that move smoothly through a body. Blood or spinal fluid, the shifting sea that leaks back and forth and then out. More than 2 liters of water pass through us each day, leave in the fog of breath from our skin and piss. On hot days, the loss is greater, and with a fever, even more. If you get sick with diarrhea, a bolus of bacteria survives your acid stomach to feast on the food in your intestine. Their poisonous division loosens your tight junctions and water spills out. If it spills faster than you can put in, you run dry and you die from all the salt left behind. Change in a body is ceaseless. Parts swap out for parts, get broken down, munched smaller, crafted into something new. Everything must stay in motion to create order from disorder. And if there's not enough fluid in our vessels for a large, slow pulse, we'll make fast, small ones. Our heart races, 80, 90, 100, 140. Uh-oh. More than this, if we continue to bleed, our beats run dry, pressure falls, the process starts to fail. This is a last sign. I'm so cold. With that sentence, trauma room nurses and ER doctors know they were a few deft moves away from a suddenly dead person. That feeling is so close I can touch it in my memory. The dread is unforgettable and best shared, which is why you can't teach over a computer or just send dollars. There's no chill in a spreadsheet with numbers of children dead from diarrhea or women who give birth and won't stop bleeding. You must put yourself in the middle of that troubled spot. Wrestle with its questions while listening to the wails so you know exactly what's at stake. Otherwise, it just seems a shame, and nothing has ever been built on that. Once on a dry blowing road between Nairobi and Somalia, I passed a convoy of tanks, artillery, and 100 troops shielding their eyes from the sun and drifting sand. Behind me, 500,000 Somalis lived in tents. Behind them, a vague border that they had crossed with great loss. The troops were not stopping at the camp. In the hot sun outside the feeding center that followed, on white plastic tables covered with white plastic sheeting, stretched a line of dehydrated children. Around the forearms of those too sick to swallow, nurses tied the rind of a rubber glove, and after a few seconds, the collapsed veins, trickling fluid towards the heart, would fatten enough to put a needle in. I could never get it. Couldn't see the flat things, thin as a pencil lead under black skin, but the nurses, they never missed. Mothers would cluck, cluck, cluck as their children cried. The intravenous catheter, the blood and the water it delivers through its hub, has allowed for women to survive the bloodiest births, liquid to trickle into the desperately dry. A catheter twice the diameter of one the same length allows 16 times the flow. It is the case of friction and layers moving on layers. Asked again and again by my teachers about a treatment for an imaginary dying person, I repeated the phrase so often it became one word: 2 large bore IVs running wide open. Taoists call it Wu Wei, doing without doing, spontaneously and effortlessly rolling with what's moving. Resistance bleeds energy, and energy is the most precious thing. So if you rid yourself of as many blockages as possible, you are put where you are needed again and again, right in the middle, as reliably as a stream falling down a mountain. When the distinctions between actions and decisions disappear, that becomes true flow, movement without effort. We are water, at least mostly, so act like it. Thank you.